I'm Matt Fontana, and as always, take it easy. Age is just a number, right? When you look at a guy, oh, he's only 30 years old. That's okay. It doesn't make a difference because he's amazing in interviews. Might as well just hire him as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. It kind of sees where we're at right now as they have a wide list, cast a wide net. We've got a surprise opening with the Buffalo Bills with Sean McDermott. Should the Browns go after Sean McDermott? The Browns still don't have their head coach. Is it going to be one of the young guys? Is it Nathan Scheelhaase? Is it Grant Udinski? Or is it my guy, Jim Schwartz? We'll talk about all that coming up. Cavs! Ryan shakes his head like, nah, it's not going to be Jim Schwartz. Cavs are the nice one. We will talk plenty of wine and gold today with a special guest on our show this week. We got the grid. We'll get to that. Championship weekend parlay. We're going to keep the 4-leg thing, Ryan, because obviously we haven't hit a parlay all year, so why not keep it at 4? We'll sprinkle in some anytime touchdowns for the AFC NFC championship games this weekend. Jarrett Stidham to go to the Super Bowl. Can't be that hard, right? Can't be that bad. So we'll get to our picks coming up as well. We got it all for you right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler, and we're so happy to bring in Danny Cunningham, Locked On Cavs. Check it, your first spot every morning to talk about a nice Cavs win last night. Catch him on his Substack as well. You can follow him on Twitter at RealDCunningham. And, of course, our show presented by our great friends at FanDuel, Physicians Ambulance, and Garage Beer. Danny, appreciate you coming in this morning. We'll get some Cavs in a little bit, but I know Ryan and I have talked a lot about his coaching search. You and I have texted about it. Just where we're at, where I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm starting to get this vibe about Grant Udinski that maybe this is real. And you say, well, of course, they interviewed him. I'm like, they interviewed a lot of guys. And sometimes the interviews are meant to be for down the road or, hey, maybe OC. And as it's starting to, like, sprinkle out, it's clear they want to keep Jim Schwartz in some capacity. And if I was Jim Schwartz and I didn't get the head coaching job, I don't know. But then what DC job is he going to get? Does he sit out the year? All that is his business to figure out. But, like, this narrative and this push, I think if everybody didn't see the Jordan Schultz report or video from the other day, like, Danny, they're really pushing this Udinski and Scheelhaase stuff. Like, the Browns are letting this be known that they are really interested in these guys. And it's this, I hear the same narrative, which tells me that it's the same thing that's getting put out from the team is, if these guys are going to be good coaches in 2 years, why wait? Get them now. And I'm like, I just think that's such a dangerous thought process of, if this guy's going to be a good head coach in 2 years, just hire him now. And there's just, I think they're missing too many steps in the process of building somebody up to be a head coach. I just don't like that Scheelhaase and Udinski haven't had play calling coordinator duties. Like, these guys have been assistant coaches or pass game coordinators. I don't know, man. Something about it I just don't like.
Yeah, I can understand that side of things, certainly, but I also understand where the Browns are coming from, where they want to find an up-and-coming coach because they would like to have some stability. And let's say they hire your guy, Jim Schwartz. Like, do we really expect that to go well? Like, where's the ceiling on that? I don't think it's necessarily as high as if they were to hire somebody like a Scheelhaase or like a Udinski. Like, I think that is a play that if you're the Cleveland Browns hiring one of these younger up-and-coming head coaches, a guy that has not been a head coach yet to date in his career, you're betting on upside. And this is a Browns team next year that's, let's face it, not going to be very good. It doesn't matter if it's Grant Udinski or Jim Schwartz as head coach. They're not going to win a lot of football games because they don't have a very good roster, and there's not a head coach that can fit that. But this is a team that has an opportunity in a couple of years to be a pretty good football team. Is, at that point, Grant Udinski going to be better if he's the head coach, or Nate Scheelhaase going to be better if he's the head coach in his third year with a much better roster? Or are you comfortable with what I would think is a lower ceiling play if Jim Schwartz even makes it to year 3? Because a young guy's getting 3 years at least. Jim Schwartz might not. Like, if the Browns struggle next year, especially if they don't have the same dominant defense they had this year, is Jim Schwartz going to see year 2? Like, I just think that hiring Jim Schwartz there would be an opportunity for the Browns to go back to being an unstable organization. They had Kevin Stefanski for 6 years, and I agree it was time to move on. 6 years is a long time, but it was kind of nice having some stability at that position. And I just think if they hire somebody like Jim Schwartz, that might go away.
Somebody had a good take where they were like, Kevin Stefanski, of all the jobs that he did or what he did or didn't do, he brought some I don't know, the opposite of dysfunction. He brought function, I guess, to the Browns, right? Like he was able to stabilize the organization. And I understand that you could bring in Udinski or bring in Shieldhouse and go, well, these guys are going to learn on the job. And then that's, like you said, in 2 years, they're going to be better. And I guess, Ryan, I'm just nervous to sit here and say, well, I'd rather them be polished and ready to go right now. And that kind of gets me to a crazy take about why I think they could still get Udinski or not as the head coach. We'll get to that in a second. But, like, I get the learning on the job. But to Danny's point, Ryan, like, I just think this team's going to be, it's going to be rough. Like, that's going to be a hard way for a young guy to learn on the job when you're putting out fires left and right and you got guys dropping passes and you don't have anybody to play quarterback.
Well, let me ask you this, Matt. Are the Browns a quarterback away from winning? No, I don't think so.
I
right?
agree. Probably not.
I don't think they're a coach away from winning. If you bring in Jim Schwartz, it's kind of just like, it's more to me of a lateral move. I'd rather go with the young guy with the upside where you see what he can do in an offense. If he goes out here and makes Shador look very, very good, then you're cooking with fire, right? And imagine if you, on
future
top
Hall
of
of Famer at that
you
point.
draft a quarterback in 2027. I'd rather figure it out now rather than, and I'm on Danny's wave. If Jim Schwartz comes in here, what does that signal? Is he going to be a lame duck head coach if we go 4-12 again, 4-13, our offense is bad? What does that fix? I don't think it fixes anything. If you talk about taking shots in the NFL, the Deshaun Watson one didn't work out, and you still feel the repercussions from losing the draft picks. But what's the risk in hiring Grant Udinski? It's not nearly as risky as that trade was. You figure out if he's a good head coach in year one, and even if he's not, you probably give him some runway if the offense at least looks competent. I'd rather take a swing, especially given how open the AFC North is.
I mean, guys, I'm just worried about how you're going to sell that to the rest of this team. Like, we're going to take a swing on this guy, and it might not work. Now, Jim Schwartz is safer. Jim Schwartz feels more comfortable because the players know him. We know him. And this is a crazy idea. You got just follow me for a second. I'm going to go to a crazy spot. What if you hire Jim Schwartz and you let it be known to Grant Udinski? Come on up here, be the offensive play calling coordinator. We will give you a boatload of money to do it, and you are a head coach in waiting. Now, the problem with that idea is what? It's exactly what you guys just brought up. Jim Schwartz is a lame duck coach. Oh, here's the other guy. He's just sitting here waiting for this job and all that. But anything?
No. Like, Jim.
What do you want to stay in Jacksonville for?
Because what position would you rather be if you want to be a head coach at some point? If you're Grant, and I assume, I don't know Grant, but I assume that is one of his career goals. I think that's a safe assumption, given not only that he's interviewed for the Browns job and also has been requested an interview for the Buffalo Bills job. I think that's a safe assumption. What sets you up better? Coming to Cleveland to be the offensive coordinator, or staying in Jacksonville where you've already had success with Liam Cohen, with Trevor Lawrence, where you've turned Trevor Lawrence's career around. Yeah, I understand the play calling aspect of things, but are you going to get more looks as a head coach being part of a successful operation down in Jacksonville, or are you going to get more looks as a head coach calling plays for an offense that no matter who is calling the plays,
what if the Browns say you're our next head coach? What if the Browns sit there and they just
why would Jim Schwartz agree to that?
You don't got to tell Jim Schwartz about that.
And we're back to dysfunction, folks. Like, that is one of the most dysfunctional things I've heard that the Browns could do.
Bring him in and be like, this guy, we just need you to learn a little bit more. We just need a little bit more polishing on your career.
That would be a disaster.
Okay.
That would be that's a terrible idea.
Then hire
one of your
Grant
worst, I
Udinski,
would
who's
argue.
30 years old, that I am so worried about this guy. I'm not worried about him calling plays. I'm not worried about him scheming up plays. I'm worried about him in a meeting when you got a player that's ticked off at you and yelling at you. How are you going to handle that? How are you going to motivate your team to go play? And again, you'll never know until you do it. Right? You'll never know what Grant Udinski will be until he gets here, or if he is the head coach and you bring him in. I think the swing, I have a fear of going back to dysfunction, guys. I do. Like that, and you shouldn't live in your fears, but like that big swing, I'd feel 1,000 times different if we had a quarterback. To your point, Ryan, if you're just a quarterback away, I'd tell you this, you're just a quarterback away from hiring a coach that I don't care who it is. Because it comes back to the it comes back to the quarterback. Like, if you had somebody that you really felt like Cam Ward, he's going to be it, or Jackson Dart, they're throwing bouquets on whoever they hired because they're going to feel good that at least they have Robert Saleh to lead Cam Ward. You feel really good about John Harbaugh, but it's hard. You can't have both.
If those things were true, Kevin Stefanski's just still the Browns head coach. Like, if the Browns had a quarterback, Kevin Stefanski would not have been in a position to be fired.
I mean, I think he was ready to go. And
you're probably right, but why was he ready to go? Because the quarterback situation has been a dumpster fire the entire time he's been here.
So that's my whole point, is now that we're here, nothing has changed on that. I I don't want to take a risk right now. Like, I guess.
But isn't this the time to do that? Because you don't have the quarterback. You're not wasting any years on that rookie contract. Like, for Grant Udinski to come in here, like, to turn around in the NFL, you need two things. You need a good head coach, and you need to pair him with a quarterback.
Correct.
Obviously, the Browns don't have either right now. Like, I go look at the Bears. Obviously, you had Caleb Williams before you got Ben Johnson. Patriots got Drake May before they got Mike Vrabel. But, like, go figure out one of the two. And I understand you're probably not going to be able to figure it out and pin it down. Like, is Grant Udinski a great head coach next year if he gets the job in 1 year? But go figure one of those two out. And then in 2027, let's say you draft I love CJ Carr, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he's my guy for 2027. You pair him with Udinski. Who knows? At that point, you're running with Miles. He'll be, 32, 33 at that point? You only got 2 or 3 years left of his dominance.
And the other thing is, it's not like the Browns have all of a sudden graduated to completely you know what I mean? Like, the work that they've put in to not be dysfunctional. Like, I'm worried about undoing all of that, and you kind of already did because you fired your head coach. And you're back into this situation of this pool of coaches that is just, this is massive. And I know in 2022, we had 10 coaches get fired. And it's kind of just the longest tenured AFC coaches, Zach Taylor and Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Those are the only two that have been on the job since 2022. Like, this massive amount of turnover, specifically in the AFC, but just in the NFL. And a lot of it does come back to what? The quarterback, right? Do these teams, why did Jonathan Gannon get fired? In part because Kyler Murray playing too much Call of Duty or whatever. John Harbaugh's not there anymore because Lamar Jackson. Like, if they would have had success, which I think it's crazy about the Sean McDermott firing, which obviously happened after our show last week. Like,
how about that press conference?
Dude, oh my God. Keon Coleman just catching strays.
He's still on the team.
Not for long.
He was that 50-cent meme, man.
For those that don't know, the Bills fired Sean McDermott. And then they had a press conference that Brandon Beane, their GM, that people were really upset someone got a promotion. And just straight up in the press conference, he goes, well, the coaches wanted Keon Coleman. I didn't.
And then did you see the clip that resurfaced?
No.
They did a documentary on like what their draft process is like, and it's Brandon Beane talking about how much he wants Keon Coleman.
Oh, well, there you go.
Like, it just completely went back on what the owner said about it.
But like the Sean McDermott thing, it's if Josh Allen has one less turnover, they get that field goal at the end of the first half. Who knows what that game is? But Sean McDermott's not the guy. It's how like unstable these types of situations are. And that's why, again, it will forever come back to the players. You need to have a good coach. You need to have a good play calling and all that kind of stuff. But if Josh Allen had one less turnover, they're going to the AFC Championship game, and Sean McDermott's still the head coach there.
Do you buy into the whole fact about coaches that have lasted as long as McDermott has without winning a Super Bowl are never going to get over that hump? Because he was in year 9 in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I believe in NFL history, there's only been one head coach to go their first 9 years with an organization, not win a Super Bowl, and then eventually win one with that team. And that's Bill Cowher, who won it in, I think, year 14
that's
with the Steelers.
That's a good little factoid. I like that.
Like, that's the only time that's happened.
And by the way, the Steelers, a team that do not fire coaches. Like,
correct.
That is not something that they do. So
correct. And I do wonder, as far as that situation goes, if it's just, you know what, this has been a great run, but we don't think we're going to get over the hump, and that's an okay place to be. And the Browns were probably there with Kevin Stefanski too. Obviously, a lot less success than what the Bills have had with Sean McDermott, but at a certain time, it's just kind of time to move on.
I think that's Harbaugh. I know you won a Super Bowl. You didn't win it with Lamar, but like that's the Lamar era in Baltimore. You're going to sit there and say, correct me if I'm wrong, we didn't even get to an AFC Championship game with Lamar.
They got to 1, they lost.
Oh, that's right. Okay, you're right. So they got to 1. They've not been to the Super Bowl.
Way to correct him.
Thank you. That's why I keep you guys around here. I need a lot of correction. But like that's the same thing with Harbaugh. You got to a point, you just ask yourself, can we get over this? And that's where the Giants are. It's new. It's the honeymoon period. It's great. It's something new. Whoever Baltimore hires is going to be over the top and excited. I've gone too long, by the way. Ryan is just killing it. Are you perfect 3 for 3 on your coaching?
Not anymore because the Titans decided to hire Robert Saleh. But I was so now
he was 3 for 3
well,
on
now,
his
but
way
I can
up.
only go 3 for 5 because if you miss one, then you get the other one wrong automatically.
Who did you have going to Tennessee? And where'd you have Saleh going?
I had Saleh going to Arizona, and I had Jesse Minter in Tennessee. But I got obviously Stefanski.
You got Hafley in Miami, which I didn't think Hafley was going to get a job. That was a good call on that. And
that's not going to go well.
No, I don't think so either. And that's the thing. We talked about this last week too, Danny. It's all the same pool. Everybody's interviewing Jesse Minter. Everybody's now interviewing Grant Udinski. And it's just what beauty is in the eye of the beholder, like what you are exactly looking for. But make no mistake, all these teams are also sitting there going, we can't be the last one at the end of musical chairs. That's how you end up with Mike Pettin. Happy retirement, by the way, Mike Pettin.
That was unnecessary.
That's how you ended up with Mike Pettin.
Mike Pettin assembled the best staff the Browns have ever had.
I loved it. He was great. Nice guy.
He assembled the best coaching staff the Browns have ever had.
They had McDaniel. They had Shanahan. They had who else? There was another big one on that squad. A defensive coach, I think. Somebody tweeted that out. I know exactly what you're talking about. That Mike Pettin in 2014. I mean, he had a really, really good staff underneath him here in Cleveland. But
poor Mike.
I'm saying he's enjoy retirement, Pat. There you go. But like that's when you start to fall down the hill here.
Jeff Hafley.
Jeff Hafley was on that team.
That's right.
And I thought there was one more. But even at that point, you had 3.
Anthony Weaver.
That's it. Yeah, you go 4. Wow, Anthony Weaver was on that team too?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was the defensive line coach.
There you go. So, I mean, like, at some point, everybody starts to pick who they want. And that's how the Steelers are going to end up with Mike McCarthy. Oh, God, that's going to be so bad.
Yeah, that won't go well. That would be the Browns' equivalent of hiring Jim Schwartz.
Okay.
It would be.
But a veteran guy, the safe
low
pick,
upside.
low
Don't you
upside.
want next year to be entertaining?
Entertaining, you're confusing that with, like
The Browns are going to win 5 games next year. You want it to be fun or you want it to be boring?
If it was boring but led to a brighter future, I'll take the boring.
The brighter future is the more fun route here.
Just then go Udinski and go 2-15, and then you get the first pick, and then you could take CJ Carr. You could take whoever you want.
That'd be
Good to
sweet.
me.
Yeah, sign me up.
All right, there you go. So they're on board with Grant Udinski. All right, we're going to flip it a little bit. We'll get to our parlays coming up. We'll get ready to go for championship weekend. We're going to sprinkle in some anytime touchdown scores. We'll get you ready to go with our friends at FanDuel, and then a ton of Cavs with Danny coming up. What is wrong with my guy DeAndre Hunter, man? What is going on? I think that is one of the biggest keys with the Cavs. We'll talk about all that coming up with Danny in just a little bit. Physicians Ambulance, folks. We're into 2026. You're thinking about that new career. Reach out to them. EMTs, paramedics. I had a great chance to sit down with Jason last week as we were just talking through things with Physicians Ambulance. And, like, they have grown so much. I've known them, I've known Jason almost 10 years now. And when they first started out, when Jason took the company over, they had 40 employees. That was it, 40 employees. They have almost 300 now. And they have grown to a brand new, like Jason was taking his family to go see the headquarters brand new last week in Brecksville. Then they have satellites in North Ridgeville, Menor, Kent, Warren, Ashland, Worcester, and Columbus. The reason that they are growing is because they are a company that people want to work with. They work with all the major sports teams here in Cleveland. Any event going on in any of the arenas, the stadiums, they're there. They work with a lot of high schools, a lot of colleges. And then again, they do skilled patient transports. They are growing because they are a good company. And they're growing because of the people that they hire. They have your back as an employee. They've got some of the most advanced protocols you can find. They invest in continuous education. They have some of the newest vehicles, stocked vehicles, and you show up to work. Like, you should be proud to walk into work, and you do every day if you work with Physicians Ambulance. So you can do part-time, you can do full-time. You're looking for something new in 2026, reach out to our friends at Physicians Ambulance, physiciansambulance.com. Apply today and continue to help them set the standard with our friends at Physicians Ambulance. We're running out of time on this parlay here, Ryan. So we got to hit one this weekend. We'll do some touchdown scores. Comes your way next, right here on the Fontana Show.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
Oh, we are ready to go for championship weekend with our friends at FanDuel. Welcome back, Matt Fontana Show. We got Danny Cunningham with us this week. He is Ryan Tyler. Danny, we didn't hit a parlay in the regular season. It was.
Do you want to see my shocked face?
I do like sending that picture out very often. But yes, we didn't hit one. That's all right. We are saving it for the playoffs, and now is the time. Playoff mode, if you ever log into FanDuel, it pops right up. It says playoff mode right there. Activated, baby. Let's roll, and we'll get you ready to go. Not just the playoffs are going on for football. Basketball's been fun. The Jackets have been red hot. I've been doing some hockey parlays. And the live is also where you can get on. They have the My Way where you can just slide however many yards, however many points, whatever you're looking to get. They have it so easy and laid out for you. FanDuel is where we bet. They are the best. The interface is awesome. The tokens are great. The boost tokens, the live tokens are on there for you. And we'll get ready to go. As always, please bet responsibly. Enjoy the games this weekend and get going with our friends at FanDuel. Again, you look at some of these spreads, you're like, I don't really like where that number's at. Why don't you wait to see how the opening drive goes? See if that number drops. The over-under total for some of these games this weekend. Maybe a little high. Let's see if they go 2-and, or see if the first 2 drives, 3 and out. Lower that a little bit. Jump on the live. It is so much fun with our friends at FanDuel. So sign up today, FanDuel.com/bigplay. That is FanDuel.com/bigplay. Download the app and bet the NFL live all playoff season long with our friends at FanDuel. Must be 21 and over, present in select states, or 18 and over, present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccp.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. A paid endorsement. Let's ride. Ryan, here we go. Game number 1. Are the Rams a team of destiny? I get that vibe. Seattle, I think obviously they cost us last week with the 49ers. I just think they beat up on a bad 49ers team. Seattle, the Darnold injury, which I'm still not discounting in this whole thing. I think he's battling that oblique injury. The Rams just seem to be that team. They just seem to be that team, and it's led by Matt Stafford, which is kind of crazy. Rams 13-7 against the spread their last 20. They own the Seahawks. The Rams have covered 9 of their last 11 games against Seattle, and they're 12-6 straight up in their last 18 games against the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks are on an 8-game win streak. They've covered 10 of their last 13, but here's the final one for you. They've not covered in their last 6 home games against the Rams. I'm going to ride the Rams. I like them on the money line here, guys, but I'll take them plus the 2.5. We got them.
All right, let's go to the AFC side of things. No Bo Nix. That is a problem for the Denver Broncos.
Is that number not enough? I thought it'd be more. I mean, it's a playoff game and it's in Denver. I guess 4.5.
It's the AFC Championship game.
It's
hard to do more than a spread like that.
Yeah.
Jared Stidham legacy game. Don't think that one's incoming. Denver Broncos don't win that game against the Buffalo Bills without Bo Nix. Can Jared Stidham go in there and throw the ball? Sure.
Denver doesn't win that game without the refs. We didn't even get a chance to talk about that. That was not an interception.
Bo Nix.
That was not an interception.
Bo Nix's mobility severely underrated. Jared Stidham doesn't have that. New England Patriots are a wagon right now. I think they win this one pretty easily, 4.5. I will take that all day in the AFC Championship game.
8-4 straight up and against the spread. New England is in their last 12 games against the Broncos, so we'll ride Patriots. Now, to add a little bit, we have sprinkled in some anytime touchdown scorers here. Jackson Smith and Jigba, the favorite. We'll take Kyron Williams to get in there. I don't dislike Devontae Adams. I think Stafford's starting to throw to the tight ends a little bit more now, and I think they're trying to ease Devontae Adams in. I wanted to go with DA. And also, have they just forgotten about Puka Nacua? I get it that Seattle, they have a really good defense and they have a really good secondary. I think it's going to be tough. So we'll go with the run game with Kyron Williams with a long shot. I like Colby Parkinson to get in there, too.
All right, and then back to the Patriots game, Matt. Anytime touchdown score. Cardi B's boyfriend, Stephon Diggs, going to find the end zone in this one. He's been in this moment before. Diggs, the number one go-to target when you need it the most. I like Diggs to score a touchdown in the AFC Championship game, Matt.
All right, we got a 4-leg. We got 2 touchdowns, 2 spreads. Let's go. That's one of the bigger ones we've had, 15.75.
When you throw in those touchdowns, it adds up, man.
It does. Those are both plus money on that. And also, I got a boost token saved up for this one. We'll be ready to go. Get betting today with our friends at FanDuel, FanDuel.com/bigplay. Danny, of the plays we just made, which one do you like the least?
The least?
Yeah.
Probably.
He loves them all. That's great.
Probably the Stephon Diggs touchdown.
Okay.
Denver's a really good defense. I mean, I think the Patriots are going to win that game. I would just be uncomfortable betting on an individual to score a touchdown in that game.
Well, we're down to it here on it. We could have done overs and unders, I guess, but we'll go anytime touchdown, spice it up a little bit. We got nothing but Cavs with Danny coming up. There's just, I have so many questions. The roster makeup, the injuries, the DeAndre Hunters. We'll get to all of it. Danny Cunningham in with us this week right here. Fontana Show on Big Play, presented by FanDuel. Physicians, Ammons, Garage Beer. Some wine and gold chat is next.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
All right, welcome back, Fontana Show. You can always catch us Thursday night, 7 o'clock on the social side of it, the YouTube side of it. Drop a follow if you can at Matt Fontana Show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also up on Instagram with all of our clips of our shows presented by FanDuel, Physicians, Ambulance, and Garage Beer. He's Ryan Tyler. I'm Matt Fontana. We bring in Danny Cunningham. You, of course, catch him Locked On Cavs. Subscribe to his Substack. Follow him on Twitter at RealDCunningham. He's got it all for you. Anything I miss? I Spotify, all the podcasting websites.
Apple too.
Apple
YouTube.
too. I'm on Spotify. They
Yeah.
raised their prices again.
I'm an Apple guy.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Apple Podcast
Fair
for
enough.
me.
You can catch it on YouTube as well for the live or for the video version of all of Danny's coverage of the Cavs right now. Locked On Cavs. So, all right. You came in here when the season first started, and we discussed a lot about not caring about the regular season and like the grander scheme of where the Cavs are going to be at. But here we are now. We're past the midway point. We're staring down February already. And the Cavs have been, I would say, number one, injured. And I don't discredit them not having Max Strus. I don't want to say a setback on his foot because we even talked about it. That injury with Max Strus is a really finicky one with where it was in his foot. Mm-hmm. But then you've had Garland get re-injured. You've had Mobley miss time. You've had all these other things kind of factor in. And they've just been a team that they go out there and they look like a team that can be the number one seed in the East. But the problem is, Danny, there's more games that I sit there and I go, they look like they're in the play-in tournament. There's games that they just don't show up. Okay, they got smoked by the Thunder. The Thunder smoke a lot of people. I get it. But there's just these other losses that are just confusing to me. Is there one thing that you can kind of point to or one thing that you're circling with this Cavs team that really confuses you the most?
I think the effort at times is certainly one of those things that confuses me the most because, like, this is a group that hasn't been there and done that in the postseason. They've never been out of the second round as a core. And I think at times they've looked like a group that has earned it in the postseason. And, like, give them credit. They won 64 games in the regular season. But what did we hear all regular season? Oh, nobody's scared of playing the Cavs in the playoffs, right? And, you know, I don't think necessarily they lost because of that last year. I think they lost because they were injured, which has been a big part of the reason why they've struggled so far this year, I certainly believe. But for me, it's at times the effort has wavered. And that, to me, is the one thing that just you could say that's fixable. Because you brought up the injuries. Like, they've been far more injured this year than they were last year. They, going into play on Friday against Sacramento, the Cavs have lost 159 player games due to injury this year. They lost 168 all of last season.
Wow.
Like, that is, they have had 24 different starting lineups in 45 games this year. They had 23 all of last season. And that includes the last 3 games of the regular season when they sat starters and had three, like, those lineups counted there when they started Javonte Green against the Pacers the last game of the season and Naquan Tomlin, who was not what Naquan Tomlin is now. So, like, they have had so little continuity. And, like, those things matter here.
Well, I was going to ask about the effort thing. Is that a reflection of Kenny Atkinson? Because last year we're all just, man, what a hire, and you know, I wish JB Bickerstaff well, but like Kenny Atkinson was a great hire coach, all this other stuff. But when I start hearing effort, when I start questioning some things on defense, like eventually I'm going to start having to point a finger at I don't want to. I'd rather not. But Danny, I'm starting to sit here and question, like, is Kenny Atkinson getting these guys motivated? I see Donovan Mitchell ticked off. I see him angry in games, and I think it has a lot to do with what you're talking about here. Some of these other guys on this team, it's like, well, what are we doing here?
I think you should look at the players for this.
Okay,
I really do. And
That's
Kenny has not been perfect this year. I think that there are several things that he could be doing better. Like, some of the starting lineups didn't need to be starting lineups, like starting Craig Porter Jr. alongside Donovan and Darius and Evan and Jared against a team in Minnesota a few weeks back that doesn't have a starter under 6'4". Probably not his finest moment. Like, there have been things like that.
Real quick, you tweeted, because we were all like, how's this lineup going to go? Wasn't it the game that they were like 2 minutes into the game, everybody was like, yeah, get this lineup off the floor. And then they came out at halftime.
That's
like,
what it
why
was.
are
It's
you
like,
doing
okay,
it again?
It didn't work. And then starting the second half with that same lineup, it's like this. That's why they lost that game.
Yeah, right.
Like, that group in 9 minutes was outscored by 19 points, and they lost the game by like 7. Like, those things matter. But I look at this as, you know, the player leadership needs to be at a point where they're playing hard because they recognize what is in front of them. And to, like, if you want to look on the bright side for the Cavs, they're 25-20 as we sit here and talk right now. And they should be better than they are. There are a handful of games that you look at and just say, you know what, if you play harder in that game, like their loss against Charlotte earlier this year, the loss against Utah a couple of weeks ago, the games against Chicago that they lost. Like, you can look at those games, and there are a few other ones to say, you know what, if the Cavs played harder, they're probably in the 2 seed right now. But that's not the reality we live in. But they're also only 3 games behind the Boston Celtics, who have the number 2 seed at the moment. They're a game and a half back of the number 3 seed, where the New York Knicks currently occupy right now. Like, those things are worth keeping in mind, because I do think it's worth just keeping a little bit of perspective on where this Cavs basketball team is. And the other thing, to kind of go back to last year, how you kept hearing nobody's scared to play the Cavs in the playoffs. Who's scared to play Detroit in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Who is scared of this version of the Boston Celtics in the playoffs? Who is scared of this version of the New York Knicks? And I know they just beat the Brooklyn Nets by 1,000,000 points this week, but they just went through a stretch that was worse than any stretch the Cavs have gone through this year. They were 2-9 over the course of an 11-game period. The Cavs have not had that. Like, who is scared of the Toronto Raptors, of the Orlando? There's not a team in the Eastern Conference. Now, this is a two-sided coin here. Mm-hmm. There's not a team in the Eastern Conference that I look at and say, there's no way the Cavs could beat them in the playoffs. The other side of that is, there's not a team in the Eastern Conference I look at right now and say, there's no way the Cavs lose to that team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the East is at right now. That is, I think it says the Cavs have fallen in a way we didn't expect them to, but it also says, you know, this is still a team, I think, that's capable of going to the NBA Finals.
That's a great segue to this question. Should I be caring about the seeding, or is it just don't go to the play-in tournament?
I mean, to an extent.
Like, you want home court, I get, but it's like, remember how it used to always be like, nope, you want to get this matchup against this team, or you want to make sure you have home court against this team or not. Like, I'm kind of feeling the same way. Like, as long as we make it. Now, again, this isn't a little LeBron-led team where even when they would go on the road, you're like, yeah, they're going to beat the Hawks on the road. It's no problem here. But, like, it kind of comes back to the ultimate, do we still need to be believing, like, don't really matter about the regular season, just make the playoffs, you know?
Now, I mean, you want to avoid the play-in, obviously.
Right.
Like, the seeding goal, I think top 6 is underselling, and I do think that they will finish in the top 4.
Okay.
I believe that about
like,
this team.
I kind of sit there and I'm like, with some of the bad that I've seen, like, if you were to tell me today, would I sign up for the Cavs being the 4 seed? Absolutely. Yeah, I'd like to be the 1 seed, sure. But, like, at this point, with some of the bad that I've seen, I'll take the 4 seed all day.
Yeah, I mean, I would bet it's more likely the Cavs get to a top 2 or 3 seed than they finish outside of the top 4.
Okay, good.
Like,
all
that's
right,
kind of where I'm at with things. I do think that this is a team, if they get healthier, which is a big if with this team, because obviously now Darius Garland's dealing with an injury to the great toe on his other foot, not the one that was surgically repaired back in June. And, like, those things matter as part of this conversation, because they are very clearly a different team when they don't have him, when they don't have Sam Merrill. I think that getting Max Strus back at a certain point within the next few weeks is something that will be a big boost to this team, just because this is a Cavs offense right now, Matt, that I think looks far too stagnant. They don't have enough movement. Like, that was the thing to me, aside from the horrific shot making against the Hornets, that was the thing to me that stood out in a bad way offensively about that game. So I do think that they're poised to make a run as far as that goes, and they're playing better basketball. Like, they're 8-4 in their last 12 games. This is not the dumpster fire that it looks like on paper. It's just they need to figure out how to handle success, because they've had some really nice games. Like, you go back to really the start of January, they've beat the Spurs, who were fully healthy. They beat the Phoenix Suns, who are really good. They beat the Denver Nuggets, and I know that game in the moment didn't feel that great because Nikola Jokic didn't play. Well, go look at the record without Nikola Jokic. Like, that looks like a much better win in retrospect than it did at the time. The wins over Philly on the road were nice. Like, they've shrunk to you can make the case their 5 or 6 best wins of the season have all been in the last month. And that, to me, is a good sign about a team that I do think is trending in a good direction.
Speaking of that, want to talk roster, want to talk Hunter, we'll talk the Darius Garland injury. More Cavs coming up. Danny Cunningham in this week on the Fontana Show. Back right after this. All right, welcome back. Matt Fontana Show with you this week here on Big Play. Matt Fontana, Ryan Tyler, Danny Cunningham, Locked On Cavs with us this week, talking a lot of wine and gold. Let's turn our attention to the roster. Let's get Garland out of the way quick. Like, what can we do? Like, nothing, I know is the answer.
So
Like, how
let's
frustrating.
go back to last year.
Yeah.
Because we all think of Darius Garland as hurting his toe in, I believe it was game 2, the fourth quarter of game 2 against the Miami Heat. Missed games 3 and 4, which didn't matter because the Miami Heat were so overmatched. Misses games 1 and 2 against the Pacers.
And everybody's like, hey, you got to get him back. Like, rush him back.
And everyone
Here we go.
is calling him soft, which was so unfair. And he's back on the floor and he can't move. Like, that toe was very clearly a big issue for him. When did that actually start? Was it game 4 or game 2 against Miami Heat, or was that an injury he re-aggravated that he suffered during the regular season?
Right.
Now, I don't know how the severity in the toe on the right foot compares to when he originally hurt the toe on the left foot, which was at some point in March of last season. And I do think this is less severe. I don't know just like where exactly it's at on the scale, but he didn't take time off. He missed 1 game because of a toe injury, and it was in April last year. Like, it wasn't right when he hurt it. So he played through that injury, and then it got worse. So the Cavs shutting him down for 10 days to 2 weeks or however long it's going to be without him, I think is a move that has their long-term interests at heart in a way that they didn't do that last year. And again, without knowing the exact severities, it's hard to sit here and say they were wrong for doing that last year. We can only look at it through hindsight, which obviously doesn't look good. But I do think they're handling this the proper way. And if you want to look at this through another positive lens, this little stretch of time off also helps that other foot, right? Like, because I do think prior to him going down against the Sixers last Wednesday, he was starting to play really good basketball.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, he was a
Feeling
big
really
reason
good
why
about
the
it,
Cavs
yeah.
had looked as good as they did, was because Darius Garland was starting to look like the all-star version of himself again. So when he gets back, if he's healthy, things are going to be really good for the Cavs, because I know that there are people in the fan base that think trading Darius Garland would make this Cavs team better because it would boost their defense theoretically. And that might be true. Darius Garland, not a great defender, but he is an offensive engine they cannot replace.
I agree.
Because when they have Donovan Mitchell running point guard, can he do it at times? Sure. It's not a sustainable thing. He had 8 turnovers against the Hornets, and that's kind of what that looks like when they don't have a real point guard out there. So they miss him a lot. They need him to be healthy. Like, if he's healthy, I think it's fine to feel good about this team.
What's going on with DeAndre Hunter? Like, when they traded for him, I liked that trade. I felt like he was such a key piece to this team last year. There was like one game last week where I'm like, okay, maybe he's coming out of it, and then it's just what I think I texted. Did I text you? Like, him and Jalen Tyson were 2 of 15 for me on the arc in that Hornets win. Now they won, but like, Hunter wasn't even playing. Like, you can't even play him at this point. The rumors about him being traded, that doesn't come out of nowhere. That had to come from somewhere. Like, what do you do with DeAndre Hunter? And you know better than me. Like, I've always just people like, oh, I can't make any trades. They're in the apron. Like, I don't know how that works. What can they do to try to get DeAndre Hunter ready to go? Or maybe it's just they don't need him.
They do need him.
Okay,
and
I
that's
agree
where
with
I
you.
wanted to. That's where I wanted to go with this, because he made some comments earlier this year that I thought were really interesting. Because the Cavs traded for him at the deadline last year, and he went from a situation in Atlanta where he was very involved with things, and the Atlanta Hawks were not a very good basketball team last year. But he had a bigger role with the Hawks than he did with the Cavs, and he was coming off the bench in both places, but like, his scoring was higher in Atlanta. The load he had to carry was heavier. And he made a comment this year that when he got to Cleveland, because of how good the Cavs were, he felt like somebody who was wanted, but he didn't feel like he was needed by the Cavs. He didn't think that the Cavs needed him to be successful, because to that point, they had won like 45 games without him on the roster, and they were in the midst of a 16-game winning streak. This year, DeAndre Hunter is needed, and I think that everybody adjusting to that from what it was last year has been a thing that hasn't necessarily gone as well. I think the Cavs have struggled to find him in the positions to be successful. Like, they've not figured that out. They've not cracked that code. And obviously, he's missed a lot of shots. Like, that's a big part of it. If DeAndre Hunter were shooting the same percentage from three-point range this year that he did last year, we wouldn't be having this conversation. He's shooting like 30% from 3, which is by far the worst mark of his career. At a certain point, that needs to turn around because he's too good of a shooter to just be that bad from beyond the arc. That's not how that's going to work. So I do think for the Cavs, it's about finding the best places for him to have the basketball in his hands, finding the best lineup combinations. I do think he has been a victim. I mentioned all the different starting lineups.
Yeah.
They've also played a lot of other lineups off the bench, too, that like just don't have a lot of continuity, don't have a lot of time together. I think DeAndre Hunter has been a victim of that type of thing.
It's funny you bring that up. There was a play in the Hornets game where I think it might have been Tomlin or Proctor, and he's on the wing.
Tomlin,
and he throws it out of bounds, and Hunter looks at him, and he was like, well, where are you going? Basically. And that's a really finite example of what you're talking about. But I'm a big DeAndre Hunter fan. I think he is massive to this team. Hit some shots, man. Hopefully he'll start to turn it around. We got to hit the grid here. We are above 500 now. Or no, we are 500. Right, Ryan?
Yeah.
I said we're keeping score this year. If we finish above,
What are you, 1-1?
We're 1-1.
Oh, yeah.
So if we finish above 500 this year, I'm taking Ryan to dinner. You can come too because you're going to help us with this one, right? So we'll get above 500. The grid comes your way next. All right, you know how it goes. Immaculate Grid time. Welcome back. Matt Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Let's roll. You got to put a player in each box that have played a regular season game with every one of those teams.
Super Bowl champ.
Well,
No Browns on there.
no
Not
Brown-
Lamar Jackson.
Not Lamar Jackson. Ray Lewis.
Joe Flacco.
Trent
Joe
Dilfer.
Flacco.
Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer works.
I don't think he played for the Chiefs or Panthers, right?
No, I think he did play for the Chiefs, but go Trent Dilfer. That's fine. All right.
49ers, not Kyle Shanahan.
Nope.
Montana.
Yeah. Yeah, he won.
I think Tom Brady won a Super Bowl there.
You should just go with somebody extremely random. Just
Danny Woodhead.
Danny Woodhead. All right, let's open it up here.
Should have gone Matt Light.
That's a good.
Go start Chiefs or Panthers.
I feel like let's start Chiefs here. Okay, so Alex Smith. Oh, Alex Smith, 49ers, Chiefs. That works.
Sure does.
Sure does.
Okay. Yeah.
Not
he
the
played till
tight end.
2020. He
Yeah,
played till
yeah.
2020.
Not the former Browns tight end Alex Smith, the quarterback Alex Smith.
Kansas City.
That would have
New
been brutal.
England.
Click the wrong one. We've
Like
done that
there's two
before.
Jose Ramirez's.
There's
that
a lot
have
of
played-
Brandon Marshall. Well, there's a Jose Ramirez that's a linebacker for the Panthers too, in like different sports.
I think he's on the Eagles now.
Patriots. Chiefs. Is that Juju?
Josh Gordon.
And Josh Gordon.
Shout out Josh Gordon.
Shout out Josh
Shout
Gordon.
out Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon is correct. All right. Ravens, Chiefs. Why am I thinking of D lineman? Like not Matabuke. Jared Allen never went to Baltimore. Oh man, there's like a D lineman that's screaming at me.
Really?
Yeah. We can move off of that though if we need to. All right, Panthers.
Ravens.
Panthers are always one of those tough teams for us. All right,
Steve
Ted
Smith. Did he play for the Ravens or no?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And then you could go Ted Ginn for the 49ers.
So Steve Smith,
Senior.
Senior.
2001 to 16, right?
Correct. Okay.
And
Then
then-
you can go Ted Ginn there.
Ted
right?
Ginn Jr.
Ted Ginn Jr.
New head coach of the Columbia Aviators.
Yeah, dude, I'm so excited about that league. I'm gonna go down for one of those games. Awesome.
Have fun.
Panthers, Bengals. Stephon
What?
Gilmore.
Stephon Gilmore.
All right, come
Nice. All right. Let's not count our chickons here. What about Ravens quarterbacks other than Lamar? This is the problem. They went Flacco, Lamar. They've had 1,000. Kyle Bowler. Cooper Rush isn't good. Not that.
Troy Smith.
Troy Smith's a good call. I don't think he played in Kansas
on.
City.
Oh, no. Did MBS play for the Baltimore Ravens?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know if I like that one. That's a good pull, but no. Tyrann Mathieu, no. Running backs?
I was thinking right now. I couldn't think.
I can't think of one either.
Jamal. No.
Jamal Lewis never went to Kansas
Yeah.
City. Man. Might have to go kicker route. I don't even think Josh Johnson works here because I don't think I remember him on Kansas City. I know he was in Baltimore, but I don't remember him in Kansas City. Matt Stover? No. Chris Gardocki? No. Okay, like Todd Heap, no. Dennis Pitta, no. Tight ends. Oh, man.
I really have no idea.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Did Dante Hall ever play for the Ravens?
That's not a bad call. I don't have a better answer than Dante Hall. That's a good call.
I wouldn't.
We're at that point where it's like, I can't.
Justin Tuck play for.
Not that I remember. Not that guy. The other one. Man. Justin Houston? Did he play for the Ravens?
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
It's not good enough to rip it. I don't hate Dante Hall. Torrey Smith?
Torrey Smith, maybe.
I don't remember him in Kansas City, though.
Gotta rip some.
I know. Which one do you like the most that you've heard?
Not Dante Hall.
Okay.
There's a receiver that has traveled like on 600 different teams. And
Brandon Marshall, I don't think he works there.
It's like an MVS type. It's like a dude that's been.
Man, I can't even think of any linemen that work. Joe Tooney, no. Juwan Taylor, no. Ravens. You might have to just.
What do we ripping? Justin Houston. I don't hate that.
Sure, Justin Houston it is.
All right, man. Oh,
wow!
D-Hop.
D-Hop.
Forgot he was.
I forgot he was in Kansas City.
Wow.
Wow! Nice! 2-1. Love it.
Above 500, finally.
Love it. All right, we'll be right back. Wrap things up. Stay with us. I appreciate everybody joining us this week. As always, catch us Thursday nights, 7 o'clock on the YouTube side of things, on Twitter, at Matt Fontana Show. Danny, remind everybody where they can get Locked On Cavs.
You can find that wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, YouTube as well.
Final question, same question I asked, Ryan last week. I'll ask all of you guys. Do the Browns have a head coach by the next time we record this show next Thursday? Danny.
They do not.
Ryan.
No, because of the Rooney Rule.
I was kind of thinking that.
You know, say by next week or the end of the week?
By the end of our show, by our show next Thursday, when we record next week.
Yeah.
I think they get one next week too. They'll get somebody else in to record, do the room. I really think they're ready to go with their next head coach.
They're going to hire one as soon as you're done recording next
As soon
Thursday.
as we're done, that's all right. That's how it goes.
Sammy Watkins, by the way, was the name I was thinking of.
Oh, that's a good call
that's a good
too.
one.
That's a good call too. That's a good call. Well traveled. I appreciate everybody joining this week. We'll talk to you next week. For Ryan Tyler, Danny Cunningham, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.